Councilmember Martin, Councilmember Christie, I didn't support it at first because I had the full confidence that our directors were giving us a fairly accurate budget. And as I said earlier in my comments, that this is good news and bad news. The good news is that we're saving money. The bad news is that it's a direct reflection of our budget process. So what I would like to do, Mayor, with all due respect, is I'd like to revisit the expenditure side, adjust all the budgets by 1 to 2%. We can have that discussion and give the departments the opportunity, if they have to come back to the administration and the council for an increase in budget over time, then they do that. I mean, this whole thing is about not wanting to come back to council. And so I still think that we need to do that. I think in light of the fact that not all departments will be able to do that, I respect what the mayor said about GSD. We have a significant problem in the maintenance renewal side of our facilities that GSD's annual budgets are probably going to fluctuate over time. But I think if we did a 1% reduction and we just projected it to be at the bottom line for now, and then if the department comes, a particular department comes back to us and says they need more money, then we offer them, and they justify the request. So I don't see anything wrong with revisiting the budget now, moving forward. Thank you.
Councilman Boyd.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say to my colleague, Councilman Kuba, she reminded me of the Texas Hammer. I had to look up to see it wasn't that lawyer. Councilmember Green and Director Dow.
Controller Green?
Controller Green, I like Council.
What did I say?
Two of us in the same.
I'm sorry. Controller Green and Director Dow.
I want to answer roll call
Can you do me a favor? Can you both do me a favor? To all these candidates that's running for mayor, set the record straight on TV that our city is not bleeding the way they're out there somehow. Well, let me ask this question. I think there's 7 or 8 candidates. Out of those candidates, how many have come and sat down with you guys to get a clear picture of the city's finances?
A whole lot of control candidates have come this evening.
Say it again.
A whole lot of control.
You don't have to call the names. You and Kelly. And the reason I'm asking, there's some myths out there that we're about to fall off a cliff financially, and they're using it as scare tactics to say the city's financial picture is in a horrible place. So all you have to do is go to some of the mayoral debates. You were here, and it makes you want to stand up and say, which city are you running in? So can you tell me, give the citizens of Houston a snapshot of our financial position?
First of all, I do want to encourage any candidate that is running for office, please come and get the actual documents. Please come and see what we're doing here. Look, people can't go out and run on the city is great and elect me, especially for those of you who have opponents. You know, I can sit around the table and say for many of us, you know, being a lame duck is quite liberating. So we can, you know, put it out there.
Tell the truth so we're here, Controller Green.
I would tell you that, you know, the city is not bleeding. At the end of the day, whether you think we are Detroit, and that is what works in your area that you're running for office, then, you know, maybe that's it. But at the end of the day, if you want to see us, you know, be Detroit and have gambling, you know, that's another issue. All of this other thing, all of this out here is subterfuge. This is a city where you are department directors, you are policymakers, and so at the end of the day, we have got to have people who are on council who can read and understand what's going on, but to also make decisions based on what's put before you at this time. The city we have some challenges, so please, if anybody is talking about the challenges over the next few years, we absolutely have those challenges. Is this a city that is about to be bankrupt? Absolutely not. Why would you want to govern a city that's about to be bankrupt? Why would you want to go out and be the ambassador for a city that's going to hell in a handbasket, is what I ask people. You know, look at the cranes out there.
Are you sure your term is up, Mr. Controller? Are you sure?
I'm enjoying it's I want to sit back and watch my council member work around my neighborhood. That's what I'll do.
Don't be like Councilman Bradford claiming your councilman has $5 million worth of trash. Is that you?
That was me.
That was Bradford. Don't be like Controller Green saying that his councilman has $5 million worth of trash.
I'm trying to advocate for you, but at the end of the day,
thank you, man.
The city has challenges. And we should not go out and say that the city does not have challenges. We've all talked about the challenges.
The difference between a challenge and bankrupt is day and night, and I just want to be clear about that. Thank you so much, Controller.
And the rating agencies and the controller and I having a revenue limit that is less than the amount of our expenses going up, and pensions that are not within our control. If you take the pension category out of the budget and look at our budget versus any other major city in America, you'll see that we've done a better job of cost containment than they have. Councilmember Brad.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my colleague on my left that I concur that the city's budget is not leaking. The city's in good financial condition. I think that was your commentary, so there's clearly no reason to remove the revenue cap.
Oh, no.
So I just want to get that on the record. So let's keep that video tape. Okay, my colleague on the left here. But I do want to go on the official record and join Councilmember Martin and Costello and say that I believe that the budget process is broken also, and call for a subsequent review and revision to the FY 2016 budget. So Mayor, you've heard many of the comments around the table concerning the process that we engaged to make a determination about what the FY 16 budget should look like. Is it your position, or do you concur, or do you intend to allow council an opportunity to revisit and possibly revise the FY 16 budget?
Councilmember, I am happy to have Mr. Dow and team come back to Fiscal Affairs Committee and Council and lay out all of the cost-saving initiatives we have across the departments. We have issued cost-cutting requests. We have done a number of things to capture savings. We believe we will achieve a 1%, but we also don't believe that, or I don't believe that it's the 1% across the board cuts are ineffective and inefficient, and they force departments, I've done it because we had to do it, they force departments to cut things that they shouldn't, and other departments protect things that they shouldn't. We prefer to look at it holistically. We're happy to come back and lay out for council where we are and what we've done to capture savings.
Well, obviously, some of the data, or at least assumptions that were made in the budget process were not accurate.
No, sir, and we say this every year, and we say it over and over again, and that is that we give a very conservative estimate of revenue and a very optimistic or conservative estimate of expenses. We overestimate the costs that we're going to need to meet, and we underestimate the revenue, so that we give the most negative picture we can of what the budget's going to be, because we always want to move in a positive direction. We think that is conservative budgeting, and we get dinged for it every year, and it's just the way that we believe it needs to happen. It is a good thing when we underspend our budget, and we will be truing it up in October. Of course, one of the items on the agenda today is our truth in budgeting, and we have to pass the tax rate in October. And at that point, we will set for the rest of the year what we think the true revenue is for property tax and what we can spend.
Thank you. What I said, I want to retract about some of the assumptions were inaccurate, because that's a flawed statement. They are assumptions, so therefore we don't expect accuracy, but we do expect them to be reasonably reliable, and we've seen that to some extent that they have not been that. I think it's an opportunity for council to get more involved in the spending policy and practice of the city of Houston. We don't get to dictate, what the department director